Welcome to the Rival and Queen podcast. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Sarah.
It's Thursday, and we are back with some exciting stuff, Sarah.
Some exciting, and this is Daisy. She's in the studio as well.
Yes, she's so freaking cute.
A new Rival and Queen poodle.
We love the poodles and all the hype girls. Bye, Daisy. We'll let her just run off while we chat. Oh, Sarah, you had a good week.
I had a good week. Let's just start right off. 40 centimeters of snow in the heart of winter. Guess what I did within an hour of that snow stopping?
I don't know.
I was halfway to the ski hill.
Today is also such a beautiful day too. The sun is shining, the snow is glistening. Perfect ski weather.
Winter is upon us. Winter is my favorite season, as you know. And I always think in the summer, like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I love summer more, but I don't.
Really?
When winter is upon us, there's nothing I
You
love
love
more.
summer so much? You love the beach?
I love the beach. But like outside in the cold air, like working and sweating.
You just love snow.
And sunshine. Yeah. I like winter. I like walking in the winter too, though.
I just really don't. I do like it when we have these beautiful weeks of fresh snowfall. Because here in Nova Scotia, we often get a lot of rain and then freezing and then it melts and it just isn't that enjoyable.
No, I actually hate winters in Nova Scotia. Like,
but I just really don't like it. I don't like walking in the slush. I don't like the salt. I don't like the slippery roads.
That's fair.
I wish I did. I tried.
There's nothing more refreshing than a deep breath on cold, fresh air.
All right.
And like, think of the outfits in the winter. Like, that's the other reason I love layering.
I hate my outfits in the winter.
Okay. Well,
I wore my Blundstones today out of practicality,
right?
But I don't like them.
So this is, I think, the difference. So you're getting through winter, whereas I think if you fully embrace winter and get into the winter outfits and like ski chic, like we can get you an outfit,
like fur boots.
Yeah, and like an alpine outfit.
Me. Like,
I know, like
Ash.
we can get you there.
Okay.
It's not about surviving, it's about thriving in winter.
Okay, so and our guest Kayla Short will appreciate this. Shout out to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because I'm a big fan of those franchise shows, if you can call them that, I guess. And they have a new one that's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And when I actually watch it, and I've told you this, I'm so into their fashion because it's just big puffy furry things and the boots, but I think it's because they live in literally a snow haven not all year round, but like for a majority of the year.
Oh yeah, there is such a thing as like style and winter fashion. And if you want proof, all you have to do is look up the line of ski suits that Macaj put out, a Canadian designer. And like, that is my dream. I think the ski suit I want is like $1,300. So I'm saving for next year. It's my dream. And it's like red. There's leather on it. Anyways, they look badass.
You do need that, just because I think that would be fabulous for you, Sarah.
It exists. And I also have to say in this episode, because you brought up the Real Housewives, like I don't like reality TV at all. Like, you know this. I don't, it doesn't jive with me. But Kayla actually kind of changed my mind on that in this episode. So
we get into a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, like,
if we got you to reason with reality TV or the Real Housewives, in a way, like you reasoned with it, then that's exciting.
No, that's a big respect.
Sarah usually just rolls her eyes.
I just don't like. Anyways, we talked about this in the episode. I'm not going to rehash it now. It's just.
But imagine.
I don't believe in it.
Put this in perspective. If we had our own reality TV show, you can't just put that in the bucket that it's just trash, because reality, like, don't you think people want to see our lives and know what they want to see you on the slopes in that $1,300 Macaj suit, drinking your Luvo out of your ski coat or jacket, whatever.
Yeah, wherever I'm storing it. Well, yeah, if the people want to see that, like, I'm happy to deliver that. It's not that, like, yes, reality is fascinating. People's lives are fascinating. I don't like the fakeness. I think the illusion that reality TV is real and not staged. I think that's like risky, and that's what I don't like.
This is a good pitch for someone someday, that we are going to be the realist reality TV show. I don't know.
All the ups and downs.
We've lost it at this point. But we do have an exciting guest today, Sarah. We have Kayla Short, and she is a very well-known blogger. She does a lot of social media presence, a ton of giveaways. If you're not following her, go over and follow at Short Presence because she is the giveaway queen. I think Martina actually called her that the other day.
Oh yeah, she is the giveaway queen. There's nothing but goodness coming from her social media and her blog and things. And we love her. She's got such a beautiful energy.
So sweet.
Yes.
Sweet. Like actually just the nicest person.
I know. And we had such a fun time with her recording. Like we get into learning about like the business of being an influencer, but even beyond that, it's really what she's focused on today, which is like how she can share her platform and how she can grow her business into new ways. And my favorite conversation that we've had with Kayla a couple of times now, but in this episode is really about creating a career that doesn't exist yet. Mm-hmm. Like this is kind of this era we're going into where a lot of the jobs that are coming up like don't yet exist. So how do you plan your career around that? And she talks about how she did that because when she started influencing and like blogs,
especially here,
weren't a thing. Mm-hmm. So I love it. And I will say like going back to the reality TV thing, like I do have a love-hate with social media and we kind of touch on it sometimes in our conversations, but I really liked Kayla's perspective. Like she's got such a positive perspective and you know, there's so many trolls out on the internet. It's so easy to get wrapped up in kind of the negative or get into a position where you feel attacked. And I find she is the person who should be an influencer because she is just so positive and how she sees the opportunity and she sees the bright side of things and it's genuine. And I just found that refreshing.
And she really is authentic about how she builds it and what she puts out there. She treats it as a business.
Totally.
And doesn't want to put her brand and her name on something that she doesn't necessarily want to be in business with. It's not, I'm getting free things or free publicity. And this is, I tripped on that word again, that she's genuine about what she does. And I think it was very nice to hear that and how she approaches her platform because people don't use it for good things. Like, let's think of the tummy tea, flattening tea or whatever that.
What is that?
Like the Kardashians, a lot of influencers. Yeah, I will try and promote weight loss with tea and just stuff like that. It's just
not our jam.
Fake. Yeah.
Well, we love her authenticity. She's genuine. It comes through when you meet her in person. It comes through on her social media. And we are just so happy to have met Kayla and spent the day with her.
Yeah, and it was really good to align the way Sarah and I approach Rival and Queen and what we do and how we embrace our community here. She's really big right now on kind of creating this community and using her means to do that.
We also learned how to make TikTok. So that's more, that's the most important thing.
Stay tuned. Kayla is a queen at that. And also, don't fall off early when you're listening to this episode because Sarah leaves a really suspenseful answer to our Queeniegrams. She had a very, very hard time answering it. I'm not going to drop any hints now, but stay tuned.
I've never been more embarrassed. And follow Kayla at shortpresents.com and everywhere on Instagram at shortpresents.
All right, let's dive in.
All right, we are having the most fabulous time today in the Rival and Queen studio. We've got Kayla Short with us today. You've been with us for hours, actually, hanging out. This is the best.
Making TikToks.
Making TikToks.
You're teaching us a thing
Working
or two.
your magic. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Kayla's a very well-known blogger. Insta famous? Is that what the
Insta famous, award-winning blogger. She's teaching us, and we can attest to this because she's teaching us how to use TikTok and up our game. She's given us some lessons. She's showing us how to take the photos.
And yes, people, this is a profession. This is an actual profession. Listen up, Kayla. We're so happy you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I'm such a big fan of the podcast. So I'm so excited to finally be sitting here on the other side. It's very cool.
Amazing. We're happy to have you.
We're so happy. And before we were just starting, and we just want to dive right into this, Mark, our producer, just told us that we have to get rid of our skinny jeans. We have to stop doing the side part.
Which we're all wearing skinny jeans.
We're all wearing skinny jeans right now.
And the side part.
And the side part in our hair. And it's the emojis, the crying and laughing emoji.
Yep. And so apparently you're supposed to use like the skull emoji. like you're dead, like you're laughing so much that you're dead.
Right.
So that's apparently
Oh my
I know.
goodness.
To replace the crying laughing emoji.
Exactly.
And this is according to the youth on TikTok. Is this the deal?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Would they be like Gen Z? Is that what they're called?
Oh, I don't know.
I think so.
That's like the one after. We're millennials, right?
Yes.
And then
So
after that is Gen Z, I think.
so they just want anyone their age and older, just like blanket everyone to throw these things out the window. But wouldn't it be less cool to them if we all started doing what they're doing?
That's a really valid point, actually. Yeah. I feel like then you're like
I'm going to use the
mainstream.
crying face more just because of this.
I mean, I actually love the skull, if I'm going to be honest,
never
because I
used
also
that.
say I'm dying when I'm laughing.
Totally. So do I.
So I'm like,
I have kind of embraced the skull in like the last 2 weeks, probably because of this. But I do love the crying emoji still.
oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still into that.
So like I feel like I could lose the laughing emoji, but I want the crying one still. Because sometimes I use the crying one as like not necessarily that it's like funny, but like it's just like such a vibe that I'm just like crying. Sometimes it's like excitement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it can mean so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can't really get behind the no skinny jeans.
Or low cut ones, because I know that that's in the mix too.
What?
Yeah, also like the mom jeans aren't super flattering on everybody. Like if you
But
have
like if you're 16, is
of course, like you don't have a booty, you have a tiny little waist, I'm sure it looks amazing and y'all can like wear anything, but I don't know. I have a hard time. I have a few of like the wedgie jeans or whatever, but they're not my go-to.
I don't have any of them because they are not flattering for me whatsoever. Anything that's not
We wear
like
the same type of
form
jeans.
fitting is like I just look bigger.
Well, also too, like it's COVID, so like why are we wearing things
Right.
that don't have stretch? Doesn't make any sense.
You know what?
to me.
Great point, Kayla.
Right? Like, why would we be miserable when we could like wear
And it's
jogging
winter.
pants? And it's winter. Yeah. Also, like when you wear those pants, like you have a sip of water and you're like exploding.
fair enough.
So we're gonna pass on the TikTok youth advice.
We're rebels.
And instead, we're going to lean into Kayla's advice as our expert. She's like the resident rival and queen, like style guide and
Yeah.
expert for the trends. I
Like
think
social media guide.
we're looking to you.
Oh my goodness. So much pressure.
Kayla knows this stuff. Sarah and I are learning along the way. We're not really in the TikTok world. We dabble, but we're not like in it. So thank you for even sharing this with us and our listeners because we wouldn't know.
I think, well, actually, it was Mark.
Yeah, Mark
Oh,
shared it with
sorry,
us.
Like, we
Mark.
have to give credit where credit is due.
But you
here.
knew, yeah. So Mark
I did,
Mark
yes.
brought this up. Kayla was like aware. Sarah and I just in our own world. So thank you both.
I learned it because I saw a video on TikTok where a mom was talking about it. Like, she was like, these are the rules. And I'm like, okay, Sandra, thanks for the heads up.
There's also some weird, I think there's some weird like scrunchy bun TikTok style.
Oh, the claw clip.
What?
What?
The claw clip is like having a moment. So, like the half up claw
Yes.
clip sort of thing, which I find so funny because, like, that's what I do to my hair when I like wash my face before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to get you in once a month to just like give us the
Update.
411 on what's happening.
Yeah, like trend updates.
We love that so
I feel
much.
like Katie Kelly on CTV,
Oh yeah.
laying down the scoop here.
Yes, we all need that.
So Kayla, we're so happy to have you in the studio with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about, you are, a very well-known blogger. How did you get into this? And like, what is,
What is
So-
blogging?
What is blogging? Changes every day. So I totally fell into it by accident. I always say that because I was teaching high school and I was doing some journalism things like writing magazines for local publications. And my boyfriend at the time was like, you should start a blog, and so that you could share your written publications online with your family. Literally like Steve Jobs over here, like with innovation, because I didn't even know what a blog was, and I already had one.
and you want a mom and dad to see? I love it.
Right?
Yeah, I love it.
Tres importante. My grandmother is literally like my biggest blog fan. Like, she shares everything I post on Facebook. Like, yesterday I was talking about offering a course, and she even shared that, which I find so hilarious. Because I'm
That's
like,
so sweet.
who of your friends are coming to this like digital workshop? But like, I love you. So yeah, totally fell into it by accident. It certainly wasn't anything that was available. Nobody nobody I knew locally was even doing it. So I didn't really have anybody really to look to figure out what was going on. And so I was teaching, and then I finished teaching, and then I was working at the hospital, and I was kind of doing both at the same time. Then I started writing for Stylist Canada, going back to trends. That's what I did. Like, I would literally
Amazing.
curate different things that were happening, give advice, style advice on whatever was, on the go at the time.
Like the claw clip.
Like the claw
Like the
clip,
claw
yeah.
clip.
I think it was like normcore back then. Do you remember that trend?
No.
Yeah, like the dad vibe, like the I don't care sort of, kind of like I guess the way that I would explain it, like Billie Eilish, like baggy t-shirt,
Right.
sneakers.
That's
like,
called the dad vibe?
like normcore was what it was called back then.
I've never heard of that, but I like that vibe. So
Yeah, so do
Keep
I.
going.
Yeah, totally. Who wants to wear tight things? Like, give
This
me a
one.
baggy,
This-
give me a baggy t-shirt any day of the week. Like, I'm here for it.
I'm not.
No,
I'm like,
Sarah likes. I'm with you. I like a little bag, but Sarah likes to
I like
show off that
form-fitting
beautiful
things.
figure.
You do? I love that. I mean, like, the Kardashian vibe is, like, amazing. Like, all the curves, all the everything.
She's not that far over.
Kayla will be the only person in history ever to compare. My sister's at
You've
home
heard it here
dying
first.
right now, hearing me compared to the Kardashians. Because this is just so funny. I like hardly ever wear makeup, and
And you don't even watch the Kardashians.
I'm like, this
just
is
for the
not for
record.
me.
I do.
Amazing.
But I love this. To Jennifer, I just want to let you know that Kayla said it. It's official.
It's on the record.
It's
Yeah.
We recorded it.
It's a new vibe. Okay,
I
so
can't
you're
remember.
work.
Oh, yes. So I was writing for Stylist Canada, and then Stylist Canada turned into Huffington Post. So the people who were managing it took over Huffington Post Canada. So I started writing for them, and I was doing articles, same principal style stuff. And then I was also doing food for them. Then I started doing TV segments and working with Katie Kelly, doing her pop culture TV. And it just kind of like snowballed. Everything kind of took over. I started going to Toronto Fashion Weeks quite a bit, and just
So fun.
yeah, it was so fun. And meeting other bloggers, and obviously just upping my game. I also was part of the very first East Coast fashion bloggers conference. So
Right.
yeah, like me and a few other girls, and none of them are blogging anymore, organized
Really?
this event, and we brought people from New Brunswick and all these other places to chat about blogging. And I definitely wasn't in any position to be giving anyone advice. Like, we brought other people from other places, but I learned so much in that weekend, and I really owe a lot of my career and learning about how to work with brands from those other girls. So that's why I'm always like, we need to share this forward, and I need to share information too, because I wouldn't be where I am without the help of other people. So yeah.
I love that you. It's so interesting to me when you don't know how to do something, but you took it upon yourself to help organize that event, and just the knowledge you gain from putting yourself in that position and actually bringing people in.
Yeah, I literally
help others.
saw, so there was a big conference going on in New York, and I was on Twitter, and I was chatting with all of these other girls who were also local, and we were talking about this conference. And I'd never met any of these girls in real life, but obviously you get to know people from spending so much time online. And I was like, we should do this. What are we waiting for? I would love to meet all of y'all in real life. Let's do it. And so we took it from offline into real life, and it was so fun.
That is amazing.
I miss real life.
I know. Today was a little dose of it, and it made my heart so happy.
I know.
Yeah.
And we
Slowly
learned
but
so much
surely.
from you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just having you here is helpful for us. So I can't imagine putting all those people or women or whoever together to kind of share what they know.
It was incredible. Yeah. I felt like that was such a turning point in my blogging, because it was really funny at the time. My Instagram was actually private before that event. Can you
Really?
imagine, just for a second, imagining, okay, first of all, I started blogging before Instagram even existed, so that's a
Right.
thing. And then I was also blogging with a private Instagram. We need to just digest that for a second, because it's so crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people couldn't even see
Find
your
you.
content unless they were actively.
On
In
a
your
blog.
network.
Yeah. And
How do we all feel about you have a open
I've
profile?
always had an open
So do I.
profile.
I only did in the last year because it is kind of scary. You're just all
Yeah.
in.
And
I
was
mean,
a
yours
teacher.
is a business, so that's important.
Yeah, and I was teaching high school. So like my blog for a long time, I didn't show my face. I didn't like have my name on it because when you're a teacher, like you can't have a social life. You can't do anything.
They'll find you.
Right? And I was like teaching belly dance and writing a blog, and I was on Instagram. So I was like doing all the things that you shouldn't do.
Right.
Which is a really big indicator that it wasn't for me at all. But yeah, it's kind of funny.
So how long were you teaching into kind of start? Because you, like you said, you didn't really know this was a career when you started. It was like something to share your writing. So
yeah,
how long was that?
Like I went to school to be a teacher, so I did like an English degree, I did that, and then I did an education degree at the Mount, and I taught in Sackville. I did grade 7, like science, social studies, PDR, English, because I taught during H1N1, and I taught literally all of the grade 7s who were there because the school was completely shut down. And then I did high school, so I think I was there for like 6 months, and I did English 10 support, English 11, 2 sections, child studies. I choreographed the school musical, and
So fun.
right, but it was so tough because I was like 23 at the time. Like that's 10 years ago, so you can imagine I looked like them, I sounded like them, and it was really hard to establish authority. And I'm also just not an aggressive, like authoritative person, so I also didn't want to be that person. It didn't feel authentic to me, so I found it really, really difficult. Probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my entire life, but it definitely set me up for all of the other stuff that I would do later, because I'm like, oh, live TV, this is easy compared to teenagers, or I'm going to speak to a room of 500 people, easy compared to hostile teenagers. Like nothing is worse than that. So although I wouldn't recommend it as like a career path, it definitely worked for me in like a weird backwards way.
It broke you in.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it definitely helped with the stage fright situation, and just sort of communicating and formulating your thoughts and figuring out what is the most important thing to say, what are your takeaways. So that is like paramount to what I do today and literally anything that I do. But yeah, so I taught for I'd say probably 6 months, and I was like on the sub list, but I was also working at the hospital. So I've literally had every job possible when I was in school. When I was in school, I had like 8 jobs. I was a tutor, a TA, I babysat, I taught dance, I worked at the library, I worked at the hospital.
Oh my goodness, Kayla.
Is that 8? I don't even know.
I think there's one more, but
Who knows?
we're in awe.
Writing for magazines, like I don't even
Yes.
remember. Like I just did so many things, and I think a lot of us are like that. You know, in our 20s, we're trying to figure out what we want to do and what we like. And specifically at that time, this didn't exist, so I didn't know what I was preparing for. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I literally was just doing everything. And I think so many people in their 20s do the exact same thing. But you definitely get to a point where you need to sort of streamline, or you need to start to cut things. Like, yes, I loved teaching dance, but was that what I wanted to do for the rest of my life? And yes, I love exercise, but I can exercise and not have to plan the class. Like, it's so much more work and to have to be on and all of those things. So I remember my boyfriend was like, you need to like sort something out. Like, you can't just keep going on this hamster wheel and expect different things. And it was literally the best advice, because I still could very well be doing all of those things, juggling all of those balls, and not have moved one step forward towards what I wanted to do. So I did have to like check myself and like just like really have a reality check of what I wanted to do, what I liked, and what I could let go. Because just because you're good at something doesn't necessarily mean that it's the path for you. And I was really good at teaching. Like, all of my reviews were like exceptional. I graduated top 10 in my class. I had like a stupid pin about it. It's a very expensive pin. But like, I knew when I was doing that, it wasn't the thing. Like, I knew that it wasn't 100% what it was I was after. I knew that I was like, it was like kind of there, but I needed to keep going, and I owed it to myself to try. And not that I had like the financial means to do that, because no one was sponsoring me and my life, so I was working the 25 jobs at one time while I was figuring this out. But that's why you do that in your 20s, right? You have the energy. So anyone who's listening out there, get going.
Keep going. Yeah.
But it's a
Do
good
it when
point.
you're young.
Yeah, do it when you're as much as you can do that when you're young, it is awesome. But you can do it at any time in your life too, right?
Yep.
Like,
and like, I think I'm still doing it today. You know,
Yeah.
the world is always changing. What's available to us is always changing. And so you kind of can't be afraid to just try something out for a bit. And it doesn't need to be your forever. And you can tell yourself it doesn't need to be your forever. And you might find that you like that better. And I think those stories are so inspiring. Like if you're 50 and like you've made a pivot in your life, like I have so much respect for that, because it's so easy to get into the routine of your life and just keep having the same day over and over again. But I feel like eventually you realize life is short and you're like, if I don't love this, like why am I here? Like why am I doing this?
Totally. And
Yeah.
why am I getting up every morning? Like that excitement is missing.
I think, it's so important when you're in your 20s to explore and try different things.
But
and
at
put
any
that out.
time.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think is
But
actually, it's
I'm
not just
thinking
your
more
20s.
in
like,
your 20s, maybe some people might be like scared and they just don't have confidence to like put themselves out. But at any age, you're right.
Yeah.
That you can kind of just like stay in your box of where you think you're meant
I mean,
to
in
be.
your 20s, you definitely have a bit more freedom, especially if you haven't had kids yet. I think when you have kids,
Yeah.
then it sort of locks you into certain places, or it just makes things like a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
'cause
you've
you're,
got
like,
a
uprooting them.
responsibility.
Yeah, you're uprooting their schools. It can be done for sure, but you might feel a bit more guilt about it. Whereas in your 20s, you can kind of move a bit more freely. But yeah, I think life is too short to be unhappy. So you can do it anytime, whenever you feel like you feel called to something, you should just try it and just
Feel it
collect
out.
experiences. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you talked about, like, how I even just think you didn't know that you were going to go into this career path. But even if you think about this career path, like you said, Instagram didn't exist when you started. You do have to constantly keep iterating or like, figuring out what's next and what you like, because blogging probably isn't your main piece anymore, is it?
Blogging, no. Instagram probably would be more, but it definitely kind of morphs into different things. So like I used to do like shopping consults at the mall, obviously not with COVID. TV segments, same thing. So right now it's a lot more online and a lot more social media. But yeah, it's always evolving and you kind of have to be ready to move with it. Otherwise you'll probably get left behind.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, and even like you said, like a bunch of the people you hosted the event with initially
Are gone.
they're
Yeah.
not blogging anymore.
No, and like you do, it's tricky, right? Because it is a thankless job for a long time. Like when you start
Right.
and you're putting in all this work, and if you don't see any results, and then you're also having to deal with your family asking you lots of questions. Like for me, that was so hard because I went to school to be a teacher. When you go to school to be a teacher, people expect you to do that. Like it's not like I studied marketing or business and I just like could do whatever. Like that, there's one job at the end of that road. And then I also was doing it at a time where my job didn't exist. So like explaining it to my family was exhausting for so long. Just having to be like, just trust me, like y'all think I'm bananas, but like it's gonna work out and I know it, like I feel it. I don't know what it is, I don't know what it looks like, but I know I'm on the right path and I had to trust that. And I remember being at like my aunt's and having conversations with my family, and I was just like explaining myself profusely, and I had an aunt that was like, Kayla, you need to give yourself permission to just do what you want to do. Like you don't owe anyone an explanation. And it gave me such freedom to just be like, you know what, this is my freaking life. Why, like I spent $60,000 to go to school. That's my burden to bear, but I would rather do that and do this than be miserable every single day. Like it's my life. You know, you might like how it sounds on paper and it might be like an easy box for you to check, but that's not for me. And so it like I literally hit the ground running after that, because it's like, you know what, I don't owe anybody any explanations. I'm just like gonna live my own damn life and like
As Sarah would do. Just like raise the hands.
yes.
I love that. And it's really interesting because we talked with Justin Belanger
I was thinking the
last
same
week.
thing.
And Sarah, what did you say about it being when you're an entrepreneur, people just think your friends think you're unemployed.
And
Yeah.
there's
totally.
like until like
For a
a
while.
moment happens
Yeah.
when you're building things, your friends and family just all think you're at home unemployed.
Yeah, like literally until I started doing CTV segments, then people are like, oh, okay,
I
yeah.
see you.
Yeah, like, this is legit. Like, because that is a medium that they understand.
Right.
Instagram, a blog, doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute. They don't see that as an advertising stream, you know? So, yeah, it wasn't until the CTV segments that people were like, oh, okay. And, like, even, like, people that I went to high school with, they'd be like, how does she afford her life? Like, how is she doing this? And there's so much, like, chatter and, like, whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, like, I wouldn't do this if I was broke. Like, no one's just like giving me money. I don't have a sugar daddy. Like, I don't know what you think is happening here, but like, I'm working my ass off. If you can't see that, then like, I don't know what to tell you.
And social media itself is it's a lot of work. And I think people really underestimate how businesses or creators like you have to, how much time and effort you have to actually like put into that. And it's a lot.
Yeah, even just like getting ready for the day, you know, like I don't just like wake up like this. I don't like wake up with full face makeup and like
You don't?
No, and like wearing like a feather robe or something. Like
Yeah.
So do you find that you have to be
love that.
kind of cautious about your appearance at all times when you're out and about in Halifax? Like, does that kind of weigh on you or not?
No, not really, because I'm just like, I'm still like a real person. And so, and I try to show that online. So I will do stories in my like messy hair, just woke up in my Christmas pajamas in the middle of February. That's who I am. And I think it's important for people to see that side just as much. And also I deal with chronic pain, so I talk about those things all the time. And I think it's important not only for my audience to see that, but it's actually important for myself, because there's so many of my friends and family who are consuming my content. And if I only show sunshine and rainbows every single day, then they start to judge my life and think that that is my only life, that is my only experience. And then they start to treat you a certain way. And you're like, oh, actually, I just had a migraine for 4 days and been throwing up and can't see. Like, it's not just that I get free shit in the mail. Like, that's not my life. You know.
Exactly.
Also, that free shit comes with a lot of work. Like, you know, nothing is free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So, yeah. So yeah, important for me to do it for myself as much as my audience.
I think too, we're seeing that more, and Sierra talks about this. Our friend Sierra Burchell, who's been on, is just like because it is more mainstream as a career, and it is starting to like people are like, oh, okay, that's actually there. It requires intelligence, it requires strategy, it requires work,
communication,
business.
Like, and like who's doing my accounting, you know, like me, like who's doing my expenses,
constant emails,
negotiating, like everything.
Totally.
And so as people are starting to see this more as a valid thing, like they're more curious about what else is behind here. And also it is your life, so you have to be healthy, you have to be have times where you're not working, and like the balance of that.
It is tricky because everyone has a cell phone, everyone can take a selfie, and I always say everyone thinks that they can do it, so they have opinions about it. You don't see people criticizing rocket scientists or doctors unless they actually are in those jobs, whereas my job is in front of everybody. So it gives people this idea that they have a say, that there's some kind of like democratic situation where they all get to say something, and you're like, to a certain extent.
That's so true.
Because I will tell you, I'm terrible at social media. Like, I'm good at putting myself out there, but like from the strategy and growth perspective, and also like the consistency required, like I don't like that. And I really, we talk about this a lot. Like, Ashley is in charge of our social media because she like enjoys the aesthetic part of that. And like, you have
to plan a lot. It doesn't just like happen. You know what I mean?
No, and I'll take part, but there's other things that I'm better at doing because it drains me very quickly. I can only do it for a very short period of time. And then I'm just like, I hate this so much.
It's good that you recognize that though, because then you can lean into whatever your strengths are.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
And that's just more so to give you credit and to give Ashley credit, because it is like, it takes a lot, and it takes like you constantly have to be learning. And even from like the technology side, which is our background, like we know how softwares run and that like algorithms change, and that totally changes your business, which is so weird that you were at like the mercy of Instagram and Facebook and Google, and how they decide that like, oops, things are getting too overtaken by something, I'm going to switch it up. And now your whole business is like, you're trying to figure out how the hell do I break through the noise.
Totally. And that's why you need to have a diverse portfolio. I didn't go to business school, but I know that, you know, you can't put all of your eggs in one basket. So yes, Instagram is like the popular place to be, but you can't only do that, or you're not going to make it. So I always tell people, I have a blog, I own it. I pay a lot of freaking money for that stupid blog every month, but I own it, and so I have more control. So if, say for instance, I have something planned and Instagram goes down, I have other options. And you need to make sure that you have that. So whether that's with your email list or your blog or you're on other platforms, because these things do change. And like Instagram could literally decide tomorrow that they don't exist. And like, do you still have a business after that? You have to ask yourself those questions, and you have to be ready, because the rug can be pulled out from you at any time.
That's such a good point. Ugh.
Yeah. I know. It's very doomsday.
I know.
No,
what would happen to the world if Instagram
I mean, I don't think
disappeared?
it's going to
No,
happen.
I don't
'cause
think so.
people
No.
are obsessed, but you do have to sort of be ready for change. So when there's new things, like say, for instance, TikTok picks up, then as a business person, you do kind of ask yourself, okay, am I going to also take up this space? Or how do I diversify my time so that I can also show up over here?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of balls to juggle, right? Like you're trying to figure out, okay, if I do a reel, it's like this, but I can't just post the same reel to TikTok because the same people could follow me. So how do you change that content so that it's appropriate for TikTok? So you're always learning, always adapting, but it's the same for any entrepreneur,
Totally.
anyone in business. And I think anyone who runs their own business has to accept that they're a forever learner. Like every day is a new opportunity to learn something else. And if you're not okay with that, you're going to be left behind, because you can't do the same thing and expect different results. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Are there any platforms you're not on?
Ooh, great question.
Like I always
Sounds
find
like
this
a no.
interesting.
I don't
Are
think
you
so.
on Pinterest?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't use it as much as I should, because it's really good for blog traffic and
And all your outfits.
yeah. So I have like bursts with it, but that's definitely something I need to lean in more, because and like travel content. RIP
Right.
travel, but when we get back to that.
I know.
It's true, though. I find that you just need to, we kind of sprinkle different things on different platforms, but I think you should just focus on the ones that you actually
Consume.
use yourself. Yeah. And that
100%.
you enjoy contributing to, because if not, just like it feels
they're
like
hard
work,
to
or weird
manage.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll never be good at everything. So you should be good at the thing that you're good at. So if, maybe Facebook is your thing and like you do really well on Facebook and everyone tells you that Facebook is for old people, but you know that you're seeing results and then you go on Instagram and it's like crickets, then you have to judge it for yourself, and you have to judge your time for yourself. If it's working for you, then why mess it up, right? Just because someone tells you this is the method.
I mean, the world's going to throw another social media platform at us here in the next few years. I'm
Well,
not
yeah,
ready
no,
for it.
Well,
Clubhouse
Clubhouse,
is
yeah.
huge
What the
right
heck? I
now.
have no idea what that is.
I've gotten into it, but it's basically like panel talks 24/7. You can go in on topics and listen, and like,
It's like live podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh,
basically.
that's cool.
yeah. So
Oh, we have to check that.
I know,
That might
we're
be
gonna
up our
have to-
alley.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
more on like the TikTok, Snapchat realm. Like I just can't handle any more of those.
I feel like TikTok is having its time, though. I feel like
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going to see that develop, because there is something about the algorithm that is better, and it's definitely more inclusive. So you're going to see a wider range of content on your TikTok than personally I see on my Instagram, just by the sheer way that the algorithm works. Like your
Yeah.
mom could be famous on TikTok. That will never happen on Instagram. Like
This is true.
there's definitely a bias in their algorithm, so I don't know who's writing it, but they need to get some new people in the situation, because it ain't
It's
working.
true. I know for a while I never used TikTok, and I think Sierra, actually, to mention her again, but she sent us this fabulous drag queen,
Who we're obsessed with.
and then that's all I when I go on, which is very rare. That's like I just get like drag, which I very much like, but it's funny how that it's just like the more you look at that looks like this is the more stuff you're just gonna like keep continuously
Yeah, but you
going
can
through.
you can control a bit more. So it's definitely going to filter what you've liked. So
Yeah.
you can definitely go into TikTok and search things, or if if you go in the For You or the following, like it. Just going by who you follow even will help that situation. So my
Right.
TikTok is amazing. It's so like inspirational and like positive, and like it obviously has figured me out so
Which is
easily.
crazy.
Which is, I mean,
Spooky.
yeah, there's definitely some sketchy things going on behind the scenes, which probably a podcast for another day about
Yeah.
privacy. But
Yes.
but it's happening on Instagram too. It's just not as obvious.
It's just a bit
I
different.
do agree with you though. I get a wider breadth of stuff on TikTok because I get like food, and I get like dancing, and I get
Yeah,
like
people are
just
so
hilarious
silly.
Yeah, funny
stuff.
just
Yeah.
drink. There's a grandmother that loves the White Claws. Do you know? I don't know what her thing is,
Oh my
but
God,
I find
amazing. I
her
love
so
her,
funny. And I'm
obviously.
like, this is hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
like you said,
We
it
need
could
to
be
find it.
anyone's grandmother.
Anybody, and it's less polished. Like I feel like Instagram has kind of like, if we think about Instagram,
Picture perfect.
yeah, from its
kinda.
conception, it's called Instagram. Like
Yeah.
you used to only be able to publish photos that you took in the app,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
but now you can
do we
upload.
remember this time? Like the Gen Z people, y'all don't know. Like
Yeah. And the old,
Valencia
the old
filter.
icon, remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
Valencia
you can
classic.
choose that now. Actually, can
Yeah,
bring it
you
back.
can.
Yeah.
I did know that. Actually, I feel like Mark showed us that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So as we talk about streamlining, like you said, you've got all these different things, but where are you focusing your attention now? Because obviously your business has changed. Like you said, travel, RIP.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Like, what is your focus right now?
So my focus right now is definitely geared towards just like cultivating community in a different way. So I started doing Takeover Tuesday. So I just started last week, and it was so fun, and I love it so much. I've been trying to figure out a way to share my platform and share other voices, and I wasn't really sure what that looked like. And a friend of mine actually suggested it to me, and like, thank you so much, Shannon. Like, shout out to you because I've been like so enjoying it. It's also one day that I'm not creating content, so that's great. Like,
Totally.
pressure is off me. I mean, obviously there's more things with the planning, but so I've been doing that because I just think that our Instagram and Instagram in general has become such self-focus. And even when I started my blog, it was all about other people. So I was doing journalism stuff with Profile Halifax, and it was all about people in the city who were doing really interesting things. So basically what y'all are doing on your podcast, right? So like that's how I started, and I really just want to get back more to that. So I've been doing Takeover Tuesdays, and then also doing workshops. So so fun, like virtual workshops. So I used to do them in person, like I would do blog jam and podcamp and all of the things, but hashtag COVID obviously changed everything. RIP those two. So I decided to just do it online. Again, another one of my friends, I'm surrounded by such amazing human beings. My friend Emily King, she was like, we need to have a coffee date, a virtual coffee date. We got on the virtual coffee date. She's like, Kayla, I've decided that you need to do workshops. I'm not taking no for an answer. You're hosting one next week. And if you don't announce it, I'm going to like go on my Instagram and tell people that you're doing it. These are the people you need in your corner, okay? Like you need people to push you. You need people who see things in
accountable.
you that you don't see in yourself. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die like on live camera. Like this is going to be
you've got
awful.
that.
So yeah, we did that a couple weeks ago, and it was so fun. I had
Yeah,
so
you
many.
said you loved it.
So like literally was like on fire for days after that, like just lit beyond. We had so many girls come out, and so many girls messaged me after that was so valuable, and that makes my heart so happy, because if our blogging industry is strong, that helps me. It helps me with the jobs that I get. It helps us as an industry. It helps us with anyone pitching us, because if we all know the game and we all are a united front, it's just better for everybody. And if I can be the person that shares that information, then I'm happy to do it.
Well, I remember
So
Vicky
cool.
Mina talking about this for us when she was talking about she loves seeing the rates for like makeup going up in the industry, because it's like we can all like
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? When
Yep.
people learn, and so I think of you guys with sponsorships, when people are getting taken advantage of and trading their time for like $25 for all this stuff, and it's like no, there's a standard of value here.
Yeah, or
and
like these are
here's
the
how you negotiate it.
Yeah, for this service.
Yeah, like this is the way that you negotiate. And I think it also might help people with their longevity. Like maybe you do it and you think it's not for you, but you just don't know how to play the game, so you give up early. Like that to me is heartbreaking. And like we have such talented, amazing humans. I'm on Instagram. I see your pictures. I know you're killing it. And you could totally be marketable, and you could totally advertise yourself and make money from it.
Right. Oh,
All right.
we got to learn from Kayla. I know we're going to take her next workshop.
Thanks for the positivity. That felt good.
Aw.
But you know what? There's room for everyone.
Always.
Yeah. And it's like, I think it's so cool that you're in this space, because like you said, you know, you went to school to become a teacher.
I know. It's so funny. Like I
Full circle.
I am also laughing. Like I am in the group that's like, I never saw this coming, but like it makes sense for you. That's me. Like it's
Oh, that's so good.
so funny. And I don't know what the universe has planned for me, but this is what we're doing today.
one of the things I love most about you, Kayla, and we can just kind of wrap up probably around here, but it's like, I think, and I firmly believe this, I think all of the jobs that people will be doing in the next 5 to 10 years like don't exist right now. And this is the era we're moving into where like those long-term strategic plans, it's not the way. Like, and we saw even this week, like Bell Media, a massive company, like laid off so many people at the top, which is like, you don't expect that. Like that feels like safe. That's kind of like, next to the CBC in Canada, that is like a safe place to be. And I truly think this is the era we're moving into where there's so much new technology. Our lives are changing in different ways. We're interacting in different ways. And I think you were kind of a pioneer in that, like, that's like such a big accolade, but I do think it's
so
true.
nice.
Like you found a way and you keep doing it.
And I think that we have so much access to things in a completely different way. Like I remember being in university and like we didn't even have online journals yet. Like I'm a dinosaur. I had to take a book out of the library. Like that is where I'm at. But now look at us doing a podcast and we're filming it on Zoom and we were doing reels earlier. Technology is just so far beyond our comprehension, and what is coming, we have no idea. So like, how can we really plan? Like the best thing that we can do is, educate ourselves as much as possible, especially about like privacy things and, security or whatever. Really establish critical thinking because we're going to be in an age of like not being able to decipher what's real, what's not, as like AI becomes available. I know Mark and I talked about this the other day. Like I'm like so pro critical thinking, the teacher in me, whatever. But yeah, like we don't know what's coming, but that's also, we shouldn't be afraid of it. We should embrace it because it's happening whether we want it to or not. So we need to find the paths that make sense for us within that and just be open to what's going to come. And I don't know, like, I just feel like it's a false idea that any job is really safe. And
Totally.
I think a lot of us lean into that. And I mean, I never have. I've always worked for myself. I've never had a full-time job. I just realized this the other day. And I thought, I don't know what it says about me. But yeah, we don't know what's coming. And it's going to be amazing.
But I think that's such a great skill set
And I love that advice to end this. That was great. Great tips, Kayla, for everyone to kind of think about.
Oh,
so nice.
We're moving into such a fun world. Ashley.
Yeah, we need to know one question before we
Sure.
play our favorite game in the entire world is what is lighting you up right now?
Lighting me up. I would say probably the like stuff that I'm doing within community stuff. So like the takeovers and just like pushing other people, into the spotlight and being like, hey, check this girl out too. She's amazing. Yeah, I thrive on that because usually I do that at events, like usually I'm the one that's like, let's take a selfie and then share and, be like, go follow this person. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to do that in this scenario.
Oh, I love
You're doing
that so
it.
much. I know you're doing it, and you're like one of the first people I've seen doing it in a
Aw,
good way. And I think
you.
And
it's,
it seems
It's
so genuine. You know what I mean? You're not just doing it because you feel
I
like it's
literally
the
have
right thing to
goosebumps.
do.
Yeah, I really do believe that we all can do it because we all have different skill sets. And I think it goes back to just like being in university and like the way that we used to dissect literature and everyone would come into the room with different opinions. And it was my favorite thing in the entire world. That's why I loved my whole degree is that we all read the same book and had something different to say. And I think that translates to everything with every job, with blogging, influencing, even if you're a broadcaster, like whatever, you're bringing something to the table. And I think we all can do it.
oh, love that. All right, we're going to play some Queenie Grants. We are very excited.
Okay, yay.
This is our made-up game. Super easy. All you do is pick a number between 1 and 100. We'll ask you a question. We'll all go around and do a little loop.
I'm going to pick 100.
Ooh.
A newer question.
I love
100.
this. All right. Oh, I love this one.
I like this one too.
Yeah. If you
yay.
could be a flavor, what would you be?
Oh. A flavor. Bubblegum?
Oh, that's a good one
That
for
is
you.
perfect.
That is good.
It just came to me. It was just like, I'm going with it.
I have one that came to mind, and Sarah and I are very big on, like, what comes to your mind, go with it. Today it's lemon.
Ooh.
I love lemon.
I know. I don't know. It just came to me. I'm like, I'm in a lemon mood. I feel a little
Tart, refreshing.
yeah, a little sour.
Oh.
Refreshing. And we also
She's
did.
sassy.
Kayla did bring us some treats today from NS Beer Co. The new Blue Lobster lemonade,
pink
lemonade.
lemonade.
Yeah. So maybe that's just like naturally on the vibe. Yeah. So check
These are
that out.
good. Yeah, we're
Thanks,
into it.
Kayla.
And
What
thank
about you, Sarah? What flavor would you choose?
You know what? I just am into like, I think this sounds weird. Like, I don't even want to say it.
Honey?
No, say it.
I know, but
Are you going to say honey? No?
no, I was thinking of desserts, which is like the wrong way to do
No,
this.
this is your game.
Valentine's
You can
Day
be
is
whatever
coming.
you
You can
want.
be whatever you
I'm
want.
just like and Mark's looking at me. I'm just uncomfortable with this whole thing.
Oh, is
Don't
it
look at me.
sexual?
It's not sexual.
Oh,
but now, anyways.
Don't look at me. She
The
says.
suspense is killing us.
Yeah.
Please, come on.
Stop looking at me.
This is like reason enough to listen to the podcast to get to this point.
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
I hope everyone didn't drop off.
I know. I'm
You need to
really.
lead up to this.
We're going to put this out as like a teaser for the episode.
And I'm just gonna look out the window
Okay, Sarah,
away from
just
everyone.
tell us.
Why am I so uncomfortable right
Tell
now? Mark,
us.
look away. I just feel like strawberries and cream is like what I'm really into right now. That's like
Oh,
a flavor.
not anything to be embarrassed
No,
about.
I know it's not, but it's just like Mark's making weird eye contact, and then I'm just like,
Poor Mark.
Do you guys know something we don't?
no.
Scandal.
I was like, was there a whipped cream story
You
we're
need to play
missing?
the music, Mark. Sexy music.
Ooh, dun dun dun.
Anyways,
right,
there's so
all
much lead up
right.
for nothing. Ashley,
Take
pick
a
a number and
breath.
just move
I'm
us
gonna
on.
say 20.
Ooh, 20. Okay. I'm liking this. The genie gives you one wish. What is it? You're going to answer this one too.
Okay, this is a hard one because I mean, you know, there's so many wishes we'd like, but I would like COVID to just be gone.
good
It's
wish.
over. We wake up
Yeah.
tomorrow midnight tonight, and it's like,
Done.
you know, we know everything that we've learned through COVID. We carry that through, but it's just over.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I feel like I can't top that. I was gonna say like pay off my student loan.
That's a good one.
No, that's good.
Oh,
You know what? I'll
I
take care of-
say-
Debt free.
I'll take care
Love
of
that.
COVID. You've got the loan. Like we
Okay.
could maybe put them all together.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm into that. Oh, what is my wish? Mine's usually something very foolish and
Strawberries and cream.
yeah,
On
it's
a
like
sailboat in
I
Greece?
would love a sailboat in Greece, but I would
Yeah.
die for a big bowl of strawberries and cream right now. That'd be great.
There's a I did a collaboration recently with a New Brunswick brand, and she has a chapstick that's strawberries
we
and
have
cream.
to get it
Yeah.
for you, Sarah.
Yeah, that sounds
I'll give it to
good.
you. I have one. I haven't used it, so don't worry.
I can like smell how good it would be already.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, I do a big dish right now in the center, some strawberries and cream. We'd be set.
I go down.
That'd
I'd
be
down for
lovely.
that.
We
Yeah.
could crack another drink and have a
We got a
have
lot of.
night.
You guys are solving world problems. I'm just, gonna
Feeding
keep
us.
us.
We gotta enjoy
nourished.
our life, though.
Exactly.
satisfied.
So
We're having a good time. I'm going to go with number 55, and I think this is very fitting because Kayla's mentioned this a few times. What is your go-to dance move? And we can all think about this.
I don't know if mine has a name.
Oh, yeah, no, it probably doesn't have a name, but let's just try to describe it.
I would just say like shoulders. I'm like into like the shoulder.
yeah, like when I do a boomerang, I
just
always do like
boom, boom. Well, stay tuned for the reel we made with
The shoulder
Kayla
thrust.
to season.
yeah, like a shoulder shimmy.
I think I know what yours
Mine
is.
is for sure a side-to-side
Sway.
sway with like
Bent knees.
Bent knees.
Yeah, like Sarah's knees. I have a really bad knee, effed up knee, but Sarah gets like so low.
Oh, yeah, like there's a
that's
lot of like
impressive.
It is
squatting
impressive.
and like
she's
lunges.
so limber.
Oh, I'm not. Like, you've seen how long my legs are. Like, when I squat, I'm still the same height as everybody else. So, like, in dance class,
It's a talent.
my dance teacher's always like, Kayla, lower. And I'm like, do you realize the angle that we're at right now? Like, this is not happening. So funny.
What is your go-to dance move?
Oh my gosh. Travis will laugh when he listens to this because he'll be like, I know all of them. But I think that I'm very, like, arms. Like, I really think I might have,
Like wavy?
died in the 70s and, like, been reincarnated because
Love
I,
it.
like, have, like, hippie tendencies. But, yeah, I feel like I'm very, like, fluid and, like, I take up so much space on the dance floor. Yeah, I'd say that's probably my go-to.
Respect. I like it when you're willing to take up
We've all
space
got
on the
different
dance
moves.
floor.
We'd make a good little dance team.
I'm always like the first one. Like at a wedding, I'm like, come through. Like I could be paid to start the dancing at weddings because like get the party
That
going.
could be another business.
Yeah, like the hype woman.
hype girl,
That's
yeah.
me, and I don't leave the dance floor like except to go to the bathroom. Like that's it.
We love that.
Get a drink.
What kind of dance do you do? I'm very curious.
I've done like everything: ballet, jazz, lyrical, contemporary. I used to teach belly dancing for a while,
Cool.
for like 4 years. That's very fun. Hip hop, musical theater, swing
love this.
dancing, like literally everything.
So many talents.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. I'm not good at it. It's fun.
You just love it.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun. And
So fun.
I feel like just so inspired. I don't know.
I know.
Feels just like a nice feel good conversation.
I love that. That makes me so happy.
In a positive way. You bring a very positive light to this whole
Oh
thing.
my
Yes,
goodness.
just to the studio in general.
Thank you.
great.
Likewise.
And
Y'all
you
are
brought
doing
us
amazing
drinks.
things.
Before we wrap,
So
Kayla, where
sweet.
can people find you?
Okay, so I'm at Short Presents on everything except for TikTok. Short Presents official. Thanks, Musically. They won't let me open my old account.
Womp
The
womp.
worst. So it's still there. You can creep it if you want to. And then shortpresents.com.
Love that. We'll
Check
include
it
all
out.
of that in the show notes.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.